Okay, here we go. We are in Eyn Yaakov, Brachot, and we are on page Lamed Gimel, Lamed Vav, Lamed Vav, Amid Beit, and here we go. It says, Haya Rabbi Meir, Omer, so Rabbi Meir would say, from the implication. It's implied from the verse that says, you shall treat its fruit as forbidden. Do I not know that this is speaking about a food tree? Then what does the Torah mean to teach by stating explicitly food tree? So the answer is lahavi eitz shetam eitzo upirio shaveh. It comes to include in this law a tree that the taste of its wood and of its fruit is the same. And which tree is it? So what would you have thought? Which tree is it? The one that the fruit and the wood taste the same? Which one would you think? We're going to use on the next holiday coming up. You would think of etrog, right? You would think etrog. And the Gemara says no. Zeh palpulin. This is the pepper tree. Okay, I didn't know that, but okay, apparently pepper tree. Lamdecha shepalpulin v'chayavim be'orla. So this comes to teach you that peppers are subject to the law of orla, which means in the first 3 years of its growth, of the tree's growth from seedling to production, if it produced fruit in the first and second year, one would not be able to eat it. This is in the land of Israel only. Let's be very specific. If I would plant a tree out here and from seed to whatever, it would not be a problem to eat the orla because it's outside of Israel. Agricultural rules, as far as I remember, only apply to Eretz Israel. Okay. Ulamdecha, and it comes to teach you, she'ein Eretz Yisrael chasera klum, that the land of Israel is not lacking anything. Shneamar, as it says in the verse, Eretz asher lo miskenu tochal balechem lo techsa kolba, as is a land in which...
In Afghanistan they use the seeds of the pomegranates for soap. Send it out, all export.
Okay. A land in which you will eat bread without poverty, you will not lack anything in it. So evidently, according to the Art Scroll, evidently pepper berries are edible. Otherwise, the orla prohibition would not apply to them. Okay, fine. So that's number one. So then you have the Maisa. Now you're on page 37, 37a. So Lamed Zayin Amid Aleph. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to learn is about a Maisa. So you have a Maisa B'Rav and Gamliel B'Hazakenim. You have the story of Rav Gamliel, who was the Nasi, the president, if you will, of the Sanhedrin, B'Hazakenim, and the elders. Now, before this, the Gemara will give you, we don't have it here, but just to give the background. The Rav Gamliel said that when one has fruits of the land of Israel, so then when they become satisfied, so they have to say Birkat Hamazon, full benching. The Chachamim, the Zakenim said no, you just make the regular ala eitz. That's all. The short, the main, what we call the Achat Me'en Gimel. So that's the argument that rages. And so now we have the story. So Maaseh B'Rav Gamliel V'Zakenim, there's the story with Rav Gamliel and the elders, Shai Mesubin Ba'aliyah B'Yericho. And they were in the attic, they were sitting in the attic in Jericho. So what happens? Ve'heviyu, they brought before... and they brought before them dates, and they ate. Very nice. So now we assume that they ate to their fill. So Vanatan Rav Gamliel Reshut Rabbi Akiva Levarech So Rabban Gamliel gave permission to Rabbi Akiva to bench on everybody's behalf. Like, what happens is, if let's.
Wouldn't it make more sense to just say the blessing? Say the blessing. Levarech, to say the blessing.
No, but it's talking about to bench.
Oh, to bench.
Because we assume they made a bracha before they ate, right? That would make sense.
No.
Okay. So now, since we have a deraisa here, since it's a biblical injunction to make a blessing, so then one person, he'll say to Rabbi Time of Vilna bench him, basically, gentlemen, this bench, and if nobody argues on him, let's understand, originally, the person who would lead the grace after meals would recite the whole grace after meals out loud, and everybody would just say Amen, and it would be finished. Not like what we do today. What we do today is just the introduction. By the way, the halacha still is, and people don't, for some reason, don't all do this. I don't know why, but after making the introductory Rabbatai, Nevarech, and so on and so forth, the one who's leading the benching should say the whole first paragraph out loud. That's what should be done. And if you don't, you're really not doing correctly. But for whatever reason, and originally again was that we would say everything out loud, and people would just say Amen, and so on and so forth. For whatever reason, that went to by the side. I don't know why we don't all do that still. So now, if let's say I have people, now why was that done, by the way?
So in other words, the one who would have said Hamotzi on everybody's behalf, and they were answering Amen. So then it seemed to carry through that he would be the one who.
Well, not him. It could be anybody.
Oh, it could be. Whoever would be picked to lead it.
Yeah. When you're at your table and you have your son-in-laws there, because you have three people. By right, you have, since as a balabayit, you have top billing to lead the benching. What you do is you say to your son-in-law, "No, lead the benching." So he has to say Birshut Habalabayit. Even though you said you do it, you've already given permission. It's common courtesy to say Birshut with the permission of the owner of the home, I'm going to do this. But with the permission of the Rav who's sitting there, with the permission of all the people here, and so on and so forth. You're really asking very nicely.
And everybody is acceded to that and agreed
right.
with him.
And then once that happens, so once you've acceded to my request that I should lead, then I have to do my job and lead.
Interesting.
And you're supposed to say Amen. You're supposed to listen attentively and say Amen. Like I said, what's happened is we all go on our own to bench for ourselves.
Usually, like you do at Shalosh Judas, the second, third, and fourth, at least you finish out loud, and hopefully that we finish ours.
Right, but that's clear. That's also
we've still said it on our own, though.
But that's really a remnant of what we should be doing. Like I said, I don't know when it changed. I'm not sure when it changed, and it wasn't due to people not knowing how to bench. Unlike Shemona Esrei, where we had to repeat the whole Shemona Esrei because there are people who are too ignorant to know how to pray. This was not made for that. This was made l'chadchila in the first instance to exempt the person, so much so that the person wouldn't bench on their own. Again, unlike what we do today. What we do today is very simple. Like you said, I'll say Rabbatai, Nevarech, Mabel bench, whatever the case is going to be, and then I'll say the first paragraph out loud. You, after, either concurrently you'll say it with me, or you'll hear me say Amen, then you'll say the whole thing on your own anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody just starts, after saying Amen, nobody will just start Nodeh Lecha. Nobody will do that. And we all start from the beginning. Oh, we say it concurrently, or we sing it concurrently, whatever the case is going to be. So like I said, here, we're seeing a vignette into history. Rabban Gamliel, who was the Nasi, who had the right to demand to bench. He could have benched, and he could have said, without Birshuti, if you will, with my permission. I'm the Balabite. I can do whatever I want, so let's stop benching. But he says to Rabbi Akiva, you bench. Fine. So what happens? Kafatz of Beirach, Rabbi Akiva, Bracha, Chapmin, Gimel. So Rabbi Akiva jumps at the chance, as it were, and says the bracha, the short, the what we call the alamichia today, the al ha'etz.
Yeah.
He makes al ha'etz. Whoa, that's an insult. Because Rabbi Gamliel is the one who says you have to make a full benching. You're at his table, for crying out loud. Can you imagine me going into HOC, and when they normally would say vidoy, skip vidoy, because I don't hold by it. I don't know about what you're doing.
Oh, you were a point of the Schleg Seaboard.
I'm a punch the seaboard, and I don't care what you guys do. I don't care what the Rav rules. I'm going to do something else. It's a chutzpah. Mama's a chutzpah. So what happens here? So Amalei Rabbi Gamliel ad matai machnis rochcha ben hamachloket. So Rabbi Gamliel said to Rabbi Akiva, how much, until when will you put your head in between the machlokes? Here I'm having an argument. I have an argument with the Chachamim, and I'm the Nasi. That's what the Bona explains. I'm the Nasi. My ruling is final. Leave me alone. Why would you get involved in this argument? So Rabbi Akiva said to Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbeinu, our teacher, even though that you say that we should make the full benching, we treat it like bread, and your colleagues, your colleagues say that we should make me'ein acham ein gimel, which I just did. Lima de Tana Rabbeinu, did not our teacher teach us? Yachid, when we have an argument between an individual, virabim, and the majority of rabbis, in other words, you have 1 versus 50, whatever, 1 versus 3. Didn't you not teach us halacha karabim, that the halacha is like the rabbim? We have a rule. It's a very simple rule. If I have 1 versus 3 or 2, I follow the majority, assuming that everybody's on the same page, assuming that everybody's on the same level of knowledge. Okay, we're not talking about if I say something and 2 balabatim say something that, you have the majority rule, guys, so I have to bend to your will. No, that's foolishness. But if it's same thing in a court case. If we have 1 judge goes one way, 2 judges go the other way, we go with the majority. That's just the way it is. So that's what Rabbi Akiva was saying. That we understand you're the Nasi. We understand. As the bonus says very nicely. He says, where is it? Mama kidom v'amitihu. Fine. And it says, but the problem is they don't agree with you. So the Amar Torah, that's when the Torah says, acharei rabim lahatot. You go after the majority. Kikavar efshar. It's already possible. Shita yachid or ma'atim, because it's already possible that an individual can make a mistake, or a few people can make a mistake. Me'ez prat from a particular thing. Me'asavara out of, you think one way and you didn't hear the other side. Even if the guy is normally right in everything else, you still, Amar Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Gamliel, even so, this is what Rabbi Akiva is saying to Rabbi Gamliel, even though you say that we should make bench of full benching. Koloma ata gadol, you are a giant. V'nasi Yisrael, and the Nasi, the leader of Israel. Kevan shebanidon zeh chaverecha omrim behefech. But since in this particular case, even though normally you have all those the accolades to your resume, if you were, as it were, since your friends, your colleagues who also have the knowledge, say the opposite of you, yesh lanu lamod ala klal. So now we have to establish ourselves on the general rule, asher lo yechazev yachid v'rabim, that so people won't become confused, and that is or deceived, and that is yachid v'rabim halacha karabim. That when you have 1 versus a rabbim, the halacha is like the rabbim. So even though you, Rabbi Gamliel, say that I should have said a full Birkat Hamazon, your colleagues differ with you, and we have a simple rule. So live with it, which is very interesting. Is that Can you imagine if you go into a place here, you're in Rabban Gamliel's kingdom, and you're telling him his house or wherever they were, he's right there, and suddenly you overrule him. You jump, but it's interesting. Kafat Zubeirach. He jumped and he blessed. Wow. He didn't. And what does it mean? Kafat, by the way, it's a strange language here. Kafat. He didn't ask. That's what Rabban Gamliel was a little upset about. You didn't ask me. You should have said, okay, you hold this way, they hold this way. What do I do? Why are you making the decision? You understand?
He asked him to lead the benching.
Right.
And he agreed to lead the benching, but then he did it his way.
He did it the way that he understood the halacha should go. Without asking Rabban Gamliel, I know you hold that we should make a full benching. I know that your colleagues hold the other way. So, bottom line, how do we hold?
That's a good question.
Should
he ask him?
He should have asked him. That's what we're learning here. That when you are in the middle of, if somebody asks me, and there's a machlokas on the table, there's an argument on the table, then I know there's an argument. And I know you hold one way, and I know the majority hold the other way. And I know that you're the nasi. I know that you're the prince here. So it's only befitting for me to say, thank you very much for the honor. Who do we hold by? You or them? Now, Rabban Gamliel probably would have said the same thing. Yachid v'rabim halacha karabim. He probably would have said the same thing. Should have asked him. You always have to ask. What right do you have to get involved in? That's what he said. Until when will you put your neck into all these arguments? It's not for you. It's for me. I think that's really what's going on, because otherwise he wouldn't go on and get that. Rabban Gamliel understood the halacha. He knows Yachid v'rabim halacha karabim. You don't need to be a Talmud Chacham to know that rule. But he wanted permission at this point. What do we do? I'm right here. Ask me. So you're learning. I think what this little snippet of Gemara is doing is teaching us derech eretz. That's what I believe. And based upon what I'm seeing in the Bona, it seems to verify what I'm saying. Yeah.
At the end of Shabbos, we asked one of the two visiting rabbis that were here.
Yeah, when we asked the rabbis, what we asked them?
To do
Havdalah? Right.
What did he read? Did he read the Sephardic version? It sounded like he was reading something really long.
I didn't even listen.
That's what it sounded like.
I didn't listen. So if I don't listen, I can't help you with that. Yeah, but it's, I would guess that wait, it was made here? Havdalah was made here?
Yeah. Oh, they didn't stick to the rabbis? Oh.
In the other room.
Why are you making the other room?
Because we were
Because in the room. Right. So, I don't know. He could have said it, he could have just said it with his accent.
No, it sounded very wordy to me. It
Okay.
much longer than what we usually say.
So then I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, so now we are on, he's really jumping at this point. Now we're on Daf Lamed Chet Amud Aleph. And it's in the middle, near the end, near the big long lines. 3 up above the big long lines. Okay? It's the same. You should be following.
See, I didn't have that last one you read.
So this is what bracha do you make over eating bread?
Oh, mine goes to 48 next.
48?
Yeah.
Oh, then you're not here for a long time then.
Yeah, I didn't have all that what you just read.
Okay, so you're not here for a long time. You just have to listen.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, we're on 38. Lamechet. Tana Rabbanan, our rabbis learned in the Braita, Mahu Omer, what does one say when eating bread? What bracha do you say? So he says, Hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz. He recites the bracha of the one who takes out bread from the ground, prefixing the prefix hey. It's the word motzi. Rabbi Nechemia Omer. No, he says motzi lechem min ha'aretz. Without the prefix hey. Okay, we got this. We're going to get into a whole grammatical thing. So it's very interesting for you guys. So Amar Rava. Rava said, B'motzi, with the word b'motzi kuliyal malo poligi da afik mashma. With regard to the word motzi, all agree that it connotes that he has brought forth, namely the past tense. Dichtiv, how do we know this? Because it's written in the verse, El motziam mimitzrayim, that Hashem, the one who brings them forth from Mitzrayim. And what we're doing, that's from Bamidbar Numbers, as these words were uttered by Bilam nearly 40 years after the Exodus. There's an article explaining God's being referred to here as the one who brought them forth from Egypt.
Should Motzi mean, I bring forth?
No, Motzi would be the he brings forth. Motzi would be I bring forth.
Okay.
So thus Motzi connotes the past, as Motziam is simply the word Motzi, suffix with the mem to denote them or there. And again, he continues to explain, and here's we get to the whole note, so pay attention to this one. All agree that the blessing should convey the sense that Hashem has brought forth, past tense, bread from the earth, since he has already brought forth the bread that one is about to eat. And as the Gemara has just said, all agree that the word motzi, without the prefix hey, indeed connotes in the past. The question, as the Gemara will now explain, is only whether the word hamotzi with the prefix hey also connotes the past. Okay? As is well known, in Hebrew grammar, the word motzi means he brings forth, denoting the present or continuing action. Remember, we learned in grammar that because the Torah is written later than everything happens, so when God is talking to Moshe, quote, blah, 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 okay, that's when we're going to use what we consider today to be present tense. But in reality, it's already happened, so it's not present tense. That's why he's saying continuing action. It's that sort of thing. So hotzi, if I put a hey instead of the mem, that means he brought forth, that's certainly past, and yotzi, with a yud, as a single letter, would mean he will bring forth. So the prefix hey, add to the word motzi, which is a present, which we consider present tense today, to form hamotzi, simply adds a definite article, changing the meaning to the one who brings forth, or at times, in the place of the shin, that which means share, that, changing the wording, that brings forth. Thus, the Gemara cannot have meant that motzi, when used as a verb, denotes the past tense. Rather, the Gemara understands that motzi in this blessing is being used as a noun, a common usage in Hebrew, and means the one who brings forth bread from the ground. That is Hashem, who is the one who constantly is the one constantly bringing forth bread from the earth. We desire, however, a noun form that denotes the one who does so and who has also done so in the past, as explained before. Accordingly, the Gemara brings a proof that from the verse, Kel motziam mitzrayim, Hashem, the one who brings them forth from Mitzrayim, where motzi is necessarily being used as a noun, as it refers to in the past, which the verb motzi cannot do, and is used to describe Hashem bringing, because of what he has done in the past. Okay, so that's really what the argument is about. What's going on? Okay, between motzi, hamotzi, bimotzi. Okay, so Rabbanan sovereign, the rabbis hold hamotzi da'apik. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the whole Gemara here. Sorry. Amar Rava. So here we are. So Rava said, b'motzi. I'll start again. B'motzi kuli alma lo pligi da'apik mashma. With regard to the word motzi, everybody agrees that it means brought forth. And what's the proof? Dichtiv kel motziyam Mitzrayim, that Hashem brought them forth from Mitzrayim, which was said by Bilam. Ki pligi, but when do they disagree? B'hamotzi, regarding the word hamotzi, Rabbanan Savri, the rabbis hold that hamotzi, the apik mashma, that hamotzi, the word hamotzi connotes that he has brought forth. The term is used in the basis of what Hashem has done. Dichtiv, how do we prove this? Hamotzi l'cha mayim yitzorach chalamish, that the one who brings forth for you water from the rock of flint, which is again following Moshe. Moshe is addressing the Bnei Israel in the wilderness at the end of the 40th year, exhorting them that their future prosperity in the land of Israel will cause them not to forget Hashem, who has provided their water and other needs in the wilderness these many years. Thus the word hamotzi, used in the verse, refers to the one who has brought forth water from the rock of the flint. So therefore it's meaning the past. Rabbi Nechemia holds hamotzi the mapik mashma, that he says no, it connotes bringing forth, as he says, as the pasuk says, Shneimar hamotzi etchem mitachat sivlot Misrayim, that I am Hashem your God, the one who brings you forth from under the burdens of Mitzrayim, and yet this was not done yet. Okay, as he explains, this Moshe is instructed to declare this in the name of Hashem to the Israelites presently enslaved in Egypt. Since redemption was yet to be, Hashem is being referred to as Hamotzi, the one who brings forth, solely on the basis of what he will do, not on the basis of what he has already done. So, and he explains, this usage is not at odds with the usage found in the verse cited above by the rabbis. On the contrary, the present verse indicates that Hashem is referred to in Deuteronomy as one who brings forth water, because he would continue to produce for them water for the duration of their stay in the wilderness, not because he already had. So we see that it can be used in many different ways. So then, Rabbi Nechemia, I said that? Okay. So Rabbanan, so how would the rabbis understand this verse of Rabbi Nechemia? And so they say, Ahu kai ka'amar lehu akud shabrichu. Israel, in this verse, this is what the Holy One is saying to Bnei Israel. Kad mafikna lechu, when I eventually take you out of Egypt, avidna lechu milta, I will perform for you miraculous things. Ki heichi diyad itu, so that you will know that the ana hu da'apeke de'edchom Mitzrayim, that I am the one who took you out of Egypt. Dichtiv, as is written, Vidatem, you should know, Ki ani Hashem l'keichem, that I am Hashem God, Hamotzi, the one who took you out, who brings you forth from Egypt. So that again, this is beginning of the verse said by Rabbi Nechemia. The rabbis point out to the first part of the verse, Vidatem ki ani Hashem l'keichem, you will know, which indicates the reference is to the knowledge of the Israelites will have in the future after they have been redeemed from Egypt. At that future point, they will realize that Hashem is the one who brings them forth because of what He has already done for them. Rabbi Nechemia, however, interprets Vidatem ki ani Hashem not as a prediction, but as a command. And you shall know that I am Hashem. Okay, fine. And so now what happens? We have a story. Mishtabchin le Rabbanan le Rav Zera et bar Rav Zavid achua de Rav Shimon bar Rav Zvid. So the rabbis praised to Rav Zera, a certain scholar known as the son of Rav Zvid, the brother of Rav Shimon, the son of Rav Zvid. The Adam Gadol hu ubaki barachotu, saying in praise of him that he is a great man and an expert in the law of blessings. We're talking about blessings, bring the experts in. Amalehem, Rav Zera said to them, when he comes into your area, Haviyuhu liyadi, then bring him to me. Zimna chada. So one time, ikla legabe, Rav Zera, he visited Rav Zera. Afikule rifta. So what happened? They brought out bread for him. Patach, the guy began. So we're talking about Bar Zvid, Bar Rav Zvid. Yeah, okay. So he came, and Patach v'yama motzi, and he said, Motzi. He didn't say ha-motzi. He said, Baruch atah Hashem, come on, Kelem echalam, Motzi, lechem and arts. He didn't say ha-motzi. what happens? So Rav Zera said, Zehu she'omrim alav da'adam gadol baki brachodu. This is a guy you praised, that he's a great man, expert in the laws of brachot. He's saying the wrong bracha. Bishlamei amar hamotzi. It would have been well if he would have said hamotzi. Ashmi'in in time of Ashmin Dilchatad Ramanan. So then we would have taught us that the meaning of the verse, namely the verse that we talked about before, that in Exodus, which says, "After God delivered you from Egypt, I am Hashem, the one who brings you forth." Like the rabbi said, she would understand it that way. And he would have also taught us that the law is accordance with the rabbis who say that Hamotzi is a reference to what Hashem has already done. And thus, it's also an acceptable formula for the bracha. But Ella, the Amma Motzi, but once he says Motzi, my Kamashmal, what's he going to teach us? Everybody agrees that Motzi is a valid formula. And he has thus taught us nothing new. Surely the son of Rav Zavid did not mean to rule in accordance with the minority view of Rav Nechemiah. So Rav Zera holds that a person should formulate his blessings in a way that maximizes what we can learn from that formula. Thus, given the choice between Hamotzi and Motzi, both of which are acceptable according to the rabbis, the son of Rav Zavid should have opted for Hamotzi, which would have taught us both the meaning of the verse and that the halacha follows the rabbis, and that one does fulfill his mitzvah by saying Hamotzi. So the Gemara says, V'ihu David, and the son of Rav Zavid's reasoning for what he did by saying Motzi was La'afuke Navshe Mipalukta, to remove him from a matter of dispute. No, he didn't. Ashkol explains, not wishing to involve himself in a matter of dispute between Reb Nechemiah and the rabbis. He gave preference to Motzi, which is universally acceptable. Rav Zeo, however, held that it would have been better for him to say Hamotzi, like we explained, but he wanted to stay out of the argument. So what happens? So the Gemara says, V'hilchata, the halacha is, one should say Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, like we do. The Karmelan Kirabanim, for we hold in accordance with the rabbis, the Amri, the Apik Mashma, who say that Hamotzi too connotes that Hashem brought us forth. So he says, therefore, one should recite the bracha in accordance with the view of the rabbis. Alternatively, the rabbis' formula of Hamotzi is preferable to Motzi, since the latter formula, the succession of the words Ha'olam, Motzi, creates consecutive mem sounds, which would tend to merge into one another rather than being articulated distinctly. When reciting Hamotzi, however, the Hey sound intervenes between the two mem sounds and thereby avoids the problem of merging. And though the succession of mem sounds occur anywhere in the words Lechem min haaretz, the sages had no choice but to leave that expression as it is, since it was taken from the Psalms. Okay, it's fine. So you have that whole thing of why we say Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, what Hamotzi lechem min haaretz means, the fact that Motzi everybody agrees on, and again, the bit of musar that we're pulling out of this is that this expert on brachot didn't want to get involved in the argument, rather pick the side that everybody agrees with, rather than pick a side. Why should I pick a side? Everybody holds Motzi, so then I'll hold Motzi. It's not a problem. And why should we make an argument in the Jewish world? And the truth is, he's following the pattern of. You all right?
No, I was thinking about the sound of the dumpster being empty during davening yesterday.
Okay, so he's truthfully is like the Gemaras. The Gemara always tries to have peace within the Jewish world. Always tries to say there's really no machlokes, really no argument here. So here, by siding on no argument, by going Motzi, and not getting involved in the argument, he's really doing what people like to do. He's taking the opinion of everybody, what everybody agrees to, and doesn't go the other way. Yet Rav Zera didn't like that, because he wanted to have a conclusive. He wanted the guy to back the chachamim up. In other words, instead of picking, if you would pick a das yachid, if he would have picked the individual, so Reb Ze'er would have said you're shegitz. You shouldn't have done that either. But when you have, I'm guessing, but when you have the chachamim arguing something, you want to back the chachamim up, because Allah is going to follow them ultimately anyway. So back them up. What are you going on to make everybody a piece? That seems to be what this is, as opposed to the what we learned above with Rabban Gamliel and Zekanim. So that's interesting that in one place you see that Rabban Gamliel has to be told, as it were, Yachid Rabbim Halacha Karabim. Here you could have said the same thing. Nehemiah versus that. So you would have said Yachid Rabbim Halacha Karabim. But the point is that the rabbis agreed to Rabbi Nehemiah that Moshe could be good. So if everybody agrees, unlike the case of Rabban Gamliel and the Chachamim, not everybody agreed. Rabban Gamliel had said you make you have to do the full benching. The rabbi said no, it's only Achad Mein Gimel. That's it. So we have a real argument. So that argument, Yachid Rabban Halach Karabim. Here there's no real argument on Motzi. So if there's no argument, why should I get involved? But like I said, in the end, thank you. We end that saying, if we say Motzi. Okay, we'll stop there.